In this video, I'm going to be going over what Quickai is, why I created it, and a short little tour and demonstration of the library itself and the GitHub repository for it. So, let's get to it. Quickai is a Python framework that makes it extremely easy to experiment with state-of-the-art machine learning models. The main reason why I created it is because traditionally, if you want to implement a state-of-the-art model that is making headlines in research papers, you have to write a lot of lines of code and have to do a lot of work just to play around with it. And you don't even know if that model is going to solve the problem that you have. But I wanted to make a way that could make it extremely easy to make and play around with quickly models. So that's what led me to creating Quickai. And if I come over here to the Quickai GitHub repository and come over here to the examples folder, and inside the examples folder here, there are multiple examples. So let's just say I want to do image classification. I can come over and open this file, and here you can see the example. And with Quickai, it is extremely simple. 2 lines of code to do image classification with state-of-the-art models. In the case of the example, I've set it to VGG16, but this is a parameter. You can just change that to efficient net. The whole list of supported models is over here. So for image classification, these are all the supported models. And you just pass their model code into the parameter here. And then after that, you just pass the path to your data. So here in the examples folder, there's a train folder that has the classes. And there, next to the, or after the train folder, you specify the name that you want to use when you save the model. And in this case, it will save it with the name cars, so cars.h5. And then we have that model train, that if you want to use that model, very similar process, you just import the classification predictor class, use the class, specify the name of the model, the dimensions, and in the case of VGG16, it's 224, the image that you want to predict on in the list of your classes, and then your predictions are just stored there. And if you want to use it for natural language processing applications, you can conduct inference, as seen here. So here, we're using GPT-Neo, which is comparable to GPT-3 to generate text, and the prompt is hello. We're using the 2.7 billion parameter model, and then once we print the value of that, we'll get a generated text. And the same thing there can be applied for various other tasks. So there's a full documentation over here in the wiki where there's more examples. So we have fine-tuning. We'll come to that in a second. Inference with pre-trained models. So GPT-Neo, and then sentiment analysis. It's the same process. Pass the text, function, sentiment, Q&A, same thing. Bridge was blue, what color was the bridge, print the answer. Also do summarization in NER with the same structure. You just pass the text as the first parameter. And when it comes to fine-tuning text models, we can do that as seen over here. Quickai supports fine-tuning for text classification, token classification, and question-answer datasets. And that is documented right here. Fine-tuning, in this example, we just fine-tune BERT, used for text classification using IMDb. Just download it, and then it's the same thing almost as the image version. You import the text fine-tuning, call that class, data path, path of the model you want to save, type of action you want to conduct, classification, your classes, and the number of epochs, and then that model will be saved to that directory. Then you can just call that model for prediction right here, very simply like that. And that's about it. That's the basic tour. If you have any issues with the library, you can submit an issue here. If you have any general questions, you submit them. You can submit them in the discussion section. Please only use the issues section if you have an actual issue. If you have general questions like how do I do this, etc., use the discussion section. Any improvements, you can put them in pull requests. And like I said earlier, documentation is here in the wiki. And yeah, that's about it. So I hope you enjoy Quickai. I'll link the GitHub repository down in the description, and you can install it from PyPy using one simple command. The dependencies of it are explained here, and you should install them. And uh, TensorFlow and PyTorch you should install before installing from PyPy, because some of those could require platform-specific configuration like GPUs, etc. But all the other libraries, so scikit-learn, matplotlib, numpy, transformers, they'll all be installed um, once you do the pip installation. With the exception of transformers, it's important that you install the latest development build at the time of recording. It's 4.5.0 dev, because that is the build that has support for GPT Neo. Other than that, the release builds do not. But like I said, other than that, the dependencies will install automatically. And yeah, thanks for watching.